I don't see what is it that you're saying entitles you to be a part of that reign over people. I get that you believe you're going to be over people, that you're going to be there, but okay. Why?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who entitled y'all to rule right now?
Who entitles God to rule right now?
No. Who entitled the Caucasian race to rule right now? Y'all ruling right now.
Well, that's a good question. I think that's a good question. I don't think, I think first of all, the God of this world is Satan. I don't really think white people are in charge.
Wait a minute.
Is in charge.
Wait a minute.
In the world currently.
Wait, hold your point right there. So are you saying that the God of white people is Satan? You said you just said he was the God of this world.
That's not how it works.
That's got to be how it works because your people is in rulership right now under his kingdom.
I get what you mean, but
every evil thing is set up high right now, and your people are ruling. So obviously, you just stated something real powerful right there.
Exactly. The Lord's will is not being done on earth.
Right.
When the Israelites are in rulership, that's when the Lord's will be done on earth, and that's when heaven will be on earth.
Right?
Let me just tell you, there is no heaven in the sky. There is no heaven that you die and you float up in the sky and become an angel and eat at this long table full of food and Biggie and Tupac's going to be there and your grandmama going to be there. There is none of that. That's not true. That is from Roman Catholicism. That is from old Greek knowledge. That is from everything that's not in the scriptures. You understand? There is none of that.
Can I just interject real quick that we could talk, no joke, for a half hour in agreement, and we'll do this some other time. But if you want to talk about the history of the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Christian religion that was set up in Rome starting in 300 with Constantine, and the church ever since then, Roman Catholic, even in the Protestant offshoots of Roman Catholicism, and we'll agree about every single bad thing you want to say about that church.
I know we agree because it's true.
Right.
And you're a history teacher, so you know a lot of it is BS.
I'm with you, but I'm not Roman Catholic. So I went to Catholic school till 3rd grade, but I'm not Roman Catholic.
Yeah, but Christianity's under the umbrella of the Pope. Christianity's under the umbrella.
I don't have the answer for the Roman Catholic Church.
Well, Christianity's under the umbrella of the Catholic popes and stuff. Why? Because your leaders learn from the Pope.
I think that we would disagree. We would disagree about that. But that's you know what though? That I wish that mainstream Protestant denominations, I wish that many Baptist denominations, I wish that they would all understand what you're saying, that they actually are under the umbrella of the Roman Catholic Church, because I believe they are. So I think you make a very important point there. I think that's one of the things that's most attractive about your position. It's also one of the things that's most attractive in general about all kinds of Hebrew roots theologies, where they say, not necessarily black Hebrew Israelites, but there's many other Christians who believe that, like Nazarene churches, that they believe something went wrong with the Christian church, but I don't disagree with them. So I think that's something that is great that you think, that there's something wrong with mainstream Christianity. I don't think you're wrong about that, but I don't think that the Roman Catholic Church is the church that Jesus set up in the New Testament.
Revelations 5 and 10.
Peter became the first pastor of. I think that was meant to be. I think that was the beginning of what I would call a New Testament church. And I believe the book of Acts lays out what a New Testament church is supposed to be. And I believe there have always been churches following that template all the way back to the time of Acts and the time of Jesus' life. And they've never been Roman Catholic. I mean, the Roman Catholic Church is like a weird
this is
kind of golem type thing that occurred like 300 years later. It's like Satan's fake church.
Well, if I could,
that's what I believe about that. Just FYI. So there is a view that you can be a Christian and trace your lineage all the way back to the New Testament, and you don't have to claim that you're part of Catholicism. That was something that I didn't understand until like 2 years ago, and so that's not mainstream history either. So we would both agree that like we've been lied to about that. But I think it's kind of common sense. The earliest followers of Jesus were not Roman Catholics. That's kind of obvious.
And this is the thing. Ever since the Dark Ages is when black men ruled Europe. Okay. Ever since the Dark Ages, all of that after the Dark Ages is nothing but lies and plagiarisms. Okay? The Dark Ages was when you had the black kings that ruled in Europe. That's why it's called the Dark Ages. Most people think it's called the Dark Ages because they was mean, they was killing witches and burning them at the stake, and it was disease and this, that. No, it's called the Dark Ages because black men was in rulership. You understand?
Right.
Look that up. You understand?
Right.
King James was a steward. What are the stewards? The stewards are people that black people that believed in the rulership of Christ on earth. Give me Revelations 5 and 10. Okay, so a lot of stuff after the Dark Ages is a hodgepodge of people, of oppressors that came and took over the movement. You understand? That was started by Christ and the disciples. Go ahead, give me Revelations 5 and 10.
Revelation chapter 5 and verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests.
Now this is going into heaven. He's made us, the Lord is going to make us black men again on earth, kings and priests. Read it more.
And we shall reign on the earth.
Where are we going to reign?
The earth.
Are we going to go up in the clouds?
The earth.
Are we going to be some type of walking on white shadows or something?
The earth.
Is Biggie and Tupac going to be there?
The earth.
No, we're going to reign on the earth. That's why the brother asked you, who gave the rulers now their seat? The men who need the seat are the black, Hispanic, and Native American Israelites of the 12 tribes who will reign on earth. The scripture says Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right.
This rulership that Esau has is going down. Right. And it's starting with where? The highest of the high, which is their belief, their religious leaders. That's the height of the kingdom. You understand? This kingdom isn't held up by the red, white, and the blue or none of that. It's held up by its religion.
Right.
You understand? And with the religion falling, through the truth coming out, the rest of the kingdom is just going to follow. It's why the scripture says we war against not flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. The fact that...
So it's not white people then. It's not white people then. It's spiritual wickedness. Or is it white people? You got to pick one.
Well, answer me this. How did the spiritual wickedness get here?
You want to go back to Satan fell because he got filled up with pride?
Let's just look at it.
It's in Isaiah.
Let's just look at it right now. How does the drugs get here?
How did the drugs get here?
Yeah, the Lord doesn't want us to do drugs. Satan wants us to do drugs. So how do the drugs get here, though?
So you're saying white people are being used by Satan. But you're still saying the first cause is Satan.
They're in agreement. It ain't no first or second. They're in agreement.
They got together.
You didn't answer the question.
They both came up with a plan.
How did
white people at a table and Satan, and then they exchanged ideas and they came to a mutual agreement. And then they said, "All right, here's our plan." That's what you're saying.
The hatred for your brother. The hatred for your brother.
Well, look,
now, let me answer. You didn't answer the question. How did the drugs get here? The U.S. government is how the drugs get here. Who runs the government? The U.S. government. It's a amalgamation of Edomites. Right. Now, answer another question. Prostitution is illegal, right? But when you go on the internet and type in prostitute for the night, 30, 40, 50, 100 websites will pop up with underage prostitutes, everything. How did those prostitution websites get here?
Well, look.
It ain't no Israelites doing it. It's the people that do the will of Satan. You understand?
I get it. I get the logic. But
it's easy.
So here's one. Here's two quick things. One, I want to go back and I want to get a little clarity on what it seems like what you're saying is that what entitles you to live and reign as priests and kings, what your ticket to that, your argument, what you're going to present as your case for being entitled to do that, if you're looking at God and God's telling you, hey, why are you going to be my priests and kings? And you're going to tell him, it's because I'm a black person?
You ain't been listening.
What would you say? What would you say to that? If he said, "Why are you a priest and king?" Would you be so totally thrown off that you couldn't answer him, or what would you answer?
You haven't been listening. When I read Deuteronomy 28:1, who was it speaking to?
Well, he's talking to the Jews. He's talking to
Not just Jews, because there's more tribes than just the tribe of Judah. Jew means tribe of Judah.
Deuteronomy 28 has nothing to do with reigning. So you're connecting things here that.
Give me Deuteronomy 28 and actually 31. Deuteronomy 31.
Yeah, I get it. So I get your thing. It's what you're saying is.
No, I'm gonna get a different scripture that you ain't heard yet.
What you're saying is your status. What you're saying is your status as Hebrews is just what is your rubber stamp into God's people ruling as priests and kings. I think that's what you're saying. You didn't say it, but that seems to be what you're saying.
Let me ask you a question. Donald Trump has sons, right?
Okay. Yeah.
They will be the heirs. Donald Trump passed away. Wouldn't they be the heir to the Trump Towers?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Hold on.
Yeah. Let me make my point. Saying that is
why is that? Why will they be the heirs?
What's so interesting about you saying that is one of the things we say about a will. Okay, and we're talking about heirs, right? We're talking about leaving a will, and one of the things we say is it's a will and testament. And what you're talking to me about
is the will and testament. Then you got the Old Testament, New Testament.
There is a New Testament. God has altered, and I would say, really, he has never.
You just in Hebrews 8:8.
You might have to pull Hebrews 8:8. Let's grab Hebrews 8:8 because what you're saying now is a lie on this. We're going to pull the scripture. We're going to pull the scripture on what the real truth of the matter is. You understand? Because as we get deep into it of who's supposed to be the righteous rulers on the earth, then this is where they come and say, it's a new thing now. The old thing's done away with. It shouldn't be you people anymore. You know, it don't matter that you're the people of the Lord that he chose to rule. It's a new thing. Let's get Hebrews 8:8 in the New Testament.
Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
The Lord said in his own book, in his will and testament, that he's going to make a new covenant, New Testament, with the house of Israel and Judah.
Right.
That's who the new covenant in the New Testament is for. Thus saith the Lord.
Yeah.
This is not, I didn't write this Bible. The Lord has chose the people. It ain't nothing I did or you did. The Lord chose who's going to be the people.
Okay.
I mean, the truth hurts. That's what I said. It's hard to digest. People, when the truth come out that, these damn niggers and these damn, are the ones who's supposed to be ruling, now it's like, okay, forget the Bible, man. Don't worry about that. This, go ahead, Ward.
Like it, sir. I'm going to ask my question again. If Donald Trump passes away and his sons become the heirs of the Trump Towers and all of that, why is that? Why will they become the heirs?
Because that's what he wanted.
Come on now. Let's go for a bloodline and all of that. They're his sons. Anybody just ain't gonna inherit it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he could. I mean, he would be totally entitled to give it to somebody else.
Yeah, no, but do they do that? No, they don't. They give it to their children.
Sure, people do that all the time.
Come on now. They give it to their children. Else. He's not going to just throw Trump Towers away to some damn body else. He's not going to operate that way. He's not a slave.
That wasn't I get it. I get what you're saying.
What kind of insensitive dude would do that anyway?
Right,
That's not even like a normal thing. Right. Nobody does that. No nation, nowhere. They say, oh, well, I got my kids. I'm going to give them everything. You know what? I'm going to just pick a random guy on the street. Everybody gives it to their sons. Why? Because that's the way.
Right.
That's the way of the scriptures. That's the way of the Lord. That's the way of man.
Right.
And guess what? With us being the sons of Jacob, the children of Israel, we're entitled to a certain thing.
Right.
We're entitled to a certain land. We're entitled to a certain respect. We're entitled to certain laws, culture, heritage, all of that. And all of that was stolen from us while we were in exile. Now, since we're waking up to come out of exile, it's time. The cards need to come down now. Everybody's hand is being shown now. Everybody's card who had a hand in our destruction. Now is their time to come out now.
Right.
And the Lord is going to bring them to the forefront.
Right.
So every nation, and if I could give me Revelations 2:9, because Christ even spoke about this. They try to say Christ spoke about this. In Revelations 2:9. Every nation that had a hand in it is going to have to pay now. Give me Revelations 2:9.
Revelations chapter 2 and verse 9. I know that works.
The Lord know our works. We worked in our exile and we accepted our punishment. And we did our punishment for 400 years. That was our exile. Go ahead.
And tribulation.
And our hard works and tribulations in this place. Our leaders was killed. Our people were killed. Our children were taken from us. All of that and more. Go ahead.
And poverty.
And we had to live in this poverty too. Even though we're the Lord's chosen people. We suffered our suffering for what we did. But guess what? Now its time is over.
Right.
Go ahead, give me more.
But thou art rich.
Christ is saying, look, but you are rich. Why are we rich even though we're poor? Because we are the heirs of the Trump Towers. You understand?
Right.
And when I say Trump Towers, I mean the earth.
Right.
Israel, the Holy Land, everything in it.
Right.
We are the heirs of that. That's why we're actually rich even though we're poor right now.
Right.
Read on.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
Go ahead.
And are not.
What color is them words in?
They in red.
Christ said he know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not. Because he knew in this prophecy, because this is before the people took our religion and took our culture and made it a religion.
Right.
Before they did that, he prophesied that this was going to happen.
Right.
While we were in our exile, another group of people would come in under the auspices that they are the Jews and wear our culture and exploit it.
Right.
Which they are living it gloriously now. People see them as the holy people of the Lord, that they're the special people of God, and blah, blah, blah. All the things that belong to us.
Can I comment on that real quick?
Go ahead.
I think that's interesting.
Christ said that.
I.S.U.P.K.
To the family, brother Red Pill representing On the Ledge. Do me a favor, family. Make sure you subscribe to I.S.U.P.K. on YouTube. Get some of that fire that the brothers are delivering. Some of that good information, alright? For that.